In all sincerity, this really began about 7 or 8 years ago when I realized I was getting sicker and I was not getting better. I was miserable, tired, depressed, had horrible pain all over my body. 7 years of nasal infections alone, not to mention weird stuff that's happened to my organs, chronic knee pain, all sorts of really weird, miserable stuff. What I did was nothing new or revolutionary. I applied the things that I had learned when I was in my teens and my 20s. This was less than 10 minutes a day, and I got some pretty amazing results, both within myself as far as feeling better and also from the observations of other people. They could see that I was becoming much more fit. Many of these people were young, sometimes half my age. They were shocked to discover how old I was, and they want to know how they too could get what I had. Don't get me wrong, most people did not want my level of mental fitness, acuity, memory, any of those things. They just wanted something that looked healthier, that was more functional. I did not judge. I was explaining what I did for me. They were younger, they had less problems, they would have much more success. Now, I bet you're wondering what happened. How'd that go? I would ask people to do less than 10 minutes a day of exercises and explain to them once they did these for a few months, they would get incredible results. They started to avoid me once I'd explain how to do these things. They started to not even eye contact. So I would get back to them and I would say, how'd it go? We made a deal. You would do this stuff for you, for your improvement, for yourself, so you could get the things you want, right? I would find out they hadn't even done one single push-up. They hadn't even started. What was the real key? What's the real issue? So it wasn't enough to give people a bunch of physical exercises. That didn't cut it. They were still lost. They were still abandoned in themselves. What they needed was some group of mental exercises to gain some mental fitness, for lack of a better word. This is what I want people to have. Trust me when I say I'm not an exemplar of some heroic figure. If I could do this, you can too. When I say stand on the shoulders of giants, I mean that everything here is going to be backed by science. Got to be. Otherwise, it's just another group of aphorisms, cliches, and things you've read over the past few thousand years. Once I back it up with studies, it should match your experience. Those two things, that's the empirical and the rational method. It will require work on your part, but if you're not prepared to work, why are you here? If you found somebody was addicted to something, alcohol, pot, crack, you would go to somebody who struggled with those addictions and ask them how they got through it. If they had broken their addictions for more than a decade, you would listen keenly. Would you ask them for marriage advice? Hopefully not. We're talking to crack addicts here, right? Would you ask them for advice on how to even walk your dog? No, they've got no experience with walking the dog. I can assure you, you will follow through. This is it, right? This is what it's about. It doesn't matter if you're deciding if you want to smoke or not smoke, if you want to be fat or thin or more muscular, if you want more power or a break from it all. These are all fine decisions. What you're looking for is the capacity to follow through, and on your own, you're struggling with that. Is that the case? If it's the case that you can do these things on your own, and don't get me wrong, 1 to 5% of the population can just make up their mind and then do it. You might be one of those people, in which case I thank you for coming by. Do lead a wonderful life, thank you so much. But for the other 95% of the population, we need some sort of a faction to connect to. As people in sports, or in the military, or with religious groups, they make these specific decisions for the people, and then the people just follow through. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could make some fine decisions which you believe in, and there'd be a faction which supported you on where you want to go and what you want to do? Wouldn't that be amazing? That is what we can look for together.